In the second of this week's double Parsha, Parshat Masei, Hashem instructs Moshe to prepare the Jewish people for their entry into the land of Canaan. It will not be long thereafter that they will go into the land of Canaan. And Hashem instructs them what the biblical borders, boundaries of the land of Israel are. But before he does that, he says to Moshe, I want you to tell Bnei Yisrael, I want you to tell the Israelites that they are going to come into the land of Canaan, and when they come in, they are to expel the inhabitants of the land. Now that's not because Hashem is a tyrant and he wants to throw them out and put the Jewish people in their place, but because the people who were living in Canaan had actually forfeited their right to live in the land of Israel. They were idolaters, they were perverse, they engaged in all types of pagan rituals, and Hashem had decided it was time for them to leave the land. And he instructs Moshe, tell the Jewish people that they have to drive them out. And not only must they drive them out, but they must uproot any remnant whatsoever of any type of idolatrous practice, whether it's sacred groves, whether it's altars, whether it's high places. It has to be rooted out of the country. And these idolaters should not be allowed to stay. And if they do, the Torah says, they will be like pins in your eyes and thorns in your side. That's where the expression comes from. They will continue to worry you and bother you. And unfortunately, this is what happened. The Israelites came in with Joshua. They conquered the land, and they did drive out some of the people, but others, they didn't. It was too much bother, whatever the reason is. They had compassion, and it was these people that continually bothered them, whether it was through war or whether it was their influence, their idolatrous influence. And the idolatrous influence was great on the Jewish people who lived in Israel, as we see by the 10 tribes. They all became idolaters. It's very difficult to send somebody out. It's very difficult to drive people away from the country where they've been living for a long time. But here the Torah says that if you don't, the influence on you is going to be catastrophic. And this is an important lesson. We are told, Harchek mishachen ra. So just tell us, distance yourself far away from an evil neighbor. Al titchabel rasha. Don't connect, do not be friendly with a wicked person. Don't think, you know what, I'll befriend them, they won't have an influence on me. They will have an influence on you. They will. And the sages put it this way, they gave a moshel, they gave an analogy. It's like a person who walks into a tannery where they're tanning hides, preparing hides. Even if he doesn't buy anything, when he walks out, he smells. So even if you don't do their deeds and you don't connect to them, but the very fact that you associate with them gives you a bad smell. On the other hand, if you associate with good people, their influence is wonderful. And this is, say, just compared to a person who walks into a perfumery. Even if they don't buy any perfume, they come out smelling good. So therefore, you have to make a great effort not to associate with people who are going to be bad influences on you. And if you have to, and if you see them in school or university or work, you'll be cordial to them. But don't be involved with them in any type of social interaction. Because we are influenced by the surrounds. We're influenced by the people around us. And therefore, we should always look for positive influences. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.